Hi, guys. What follows is a segment from our most recent episode of the TOWTalk Podcast, where Neil and I discuss how billionaires and private equity firms are quietly transforming America into a rental society, where owning a home, a car, software, or even basic services are replaced with endless subscriptions and fees. Before we get into it, I'd like to humbly ask you to please make sure you are subscribed to our channel and to also like and share us with your friends. And leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Stay tuned. Couple of weeks ago, we were talking about, Davos, and you brought up an interesting point about how, while Trump was keeping all the attention over on one side, talking about he couldn't figure out who we were invading, whether it was Greenland or Iceland, he couldn't tell the difference between the two. So all their
Right.
attention was on that bullshit. When in fact, all these, billionaires and captains of industry or whatever they are were, meddling to take ownership of properties and turn the working class into a rental class. And I wanted to sort of expand on that because, interestingly enough, earlier this week during a press conference, Trump made the statement that, how we've been talking about affordable housing. Well, Trump made a statement to the effect that we're not going to make housing more affordable. We want to help all of our boomers hold on to their high-priced homes and keep them high-priced, which ultimately means that's going to impact, you know, younger Gen X's, millennials, and eventually Gen Z, actually currently Gen Z, when it comes to buying homes. And so I wanted to see if you could, sort of expand on that.
Well, we what it comes down to is that you have to understand how these billionaires operate, right? They operate off of the idea like we think of markets as being public markets. We think of the idea that you invest in a company on either the Nasdaq or the Dow or something like that, and that's how you make their money. So we automatically assume, right, that that's what these billionaires are doing, but that's not actually where their money is invested. Their money is invested in private equity. Now,
Okay.
a term that I'm sure that you've heard a million times,
Oh, yeah.
right, with company takeovers and all that kind of stuff. Really, what private equity is it's the idea of giving a standard revenue stream to billionaires. Okay, it's basically them trying to say we want to ensure that we have a certain amount of income coming in every month, no matter what. Okay, all right, and so they buy these companies, they load them up with debt, and they drain the cash. Right, they drain the cash via what's called a management fee. Okay. They take a management fee. That is their standard, how they get their revenue. The idea
Okay.
that somebody's going to pay them for their expertise. Okay. They found that in the real estate market, when you're in real estate, you have rentals. Your landlord gets steady stream of income. Okay. Well, they determined that people owning homes, well, you own your home. After 30 years, you own your home. Maybe you don't have a loan on it or whatever. But what they've decided is no more. That
Wow.
takes too long, and they don't make enough money. So what they can do is they can actually make more money renting your home.
Yes.
Okay, so the idea is to buy up properties, develop properties, and then rent them, and then create a steady stream of income for themselves and make a rental society. And what we're seeing is this is permeating almost everywhere. The idea, you don't own your software on your computer. You have to rent it from somebody. It's called a licensing agreement. You want
And
to
you
have
pay it monthly or annually.
Right. You want to have Microsoft on your computer, you have to pay an annual fee to Microsoft. Okay. Creating a steady stream of revenue for Microsoft. Okay. You want to have your car now. Your car has software on it. Okay. Like, I'm finding this out myself because I lease my car, or even if you own a car, to use your smart remote, your app, right? Like, I have an app. To use your app, you have to pay $10 a month. That creates a steady stream of revenue
Wow.
for them. Additional revenue. Now, I buy my car, I lease my car. I should have access to everything in the car. No, Tesla is doing the same thing. If you want to use their auto drive feature, you have to pay them a monthly fee or an annual fee to get access to that software. Okay.
And you're leasing your car, you're paying rent for Sirius radio so you can have radio,
Right.
so you can
And
listen to more
it
choices.
it was right. So that one of the things with Tesla that we saw, a few years ago, which is still a thing, is the idea of the resale of your Tesla. So the idea is one things that people liked about Tesla is that you could then sell your Tesla because it retained its value. So people were starting to sell their Teslas. They had them for like 5 years or whatever. And they're like, okay, I want a new car with all the latest features or whatever. So they would sell their Tesla. It turns out that the software in the Tesla, which actually operates the Tesla, is not yours. Okay. So basically what Tesla said is you want to resell your Tesla, they have to pay another $10,000 to us, Tesla, in order for them to be able to operate the new owner to operate their
What?
car. Yeah,
Holy shit.
right.
I
So
did
that
not
was
know this.
that was that was a thing, and that was a thing that outraged people, and that's why Tesla, is it basically is. If you want to sell your Tesla, you have to sell it back to Tesla, and you're not going to necessarily get
Locks
as
you
much
into
money
an
for it.
automatic trade, so you're
It
constantly locked into a
Right.
payment.
It's this idea of creating a steady stream of revenue for the billionaires. So the billionaires have decided they have these guys are the richest people in history. Okay, we're not just talking wealth. This is like extreme, like gross,
It's
like
obnoxious wealth.
right, obnoxious wealth. These guys are engorging themselves in wealth. And and so at some point, right, like it's hard to continue to grow that wealth because they're hoarding it. So if you're
Yes.
hoarding wealth, you're not creating wealth. Okay? So that means you have to
Good point.
extract wealth from other people. Well, they've gone after the high stuff. Now they got to go after the low stuff. And you know what? Screw you and your feelings and your ability to build wealth on your own. They don't really give a shit about you. It's
Right.
all about them. I mean, you just look at the Epstein files. Like, I mean, literally, you can look at that. You can see these people do not give a shit about anything other than themselves and whatever desires and needs that they want. They have everything handed to them on a platter. Okay. And this is what they're doing. It's they need to create this stream of revenue for themselves. This is the easiest and best way to do it. They've already rated your health care. They've rated your retirement funds. They've rated pretty much everything that they can raid. Okay, within limits that we would find acceptable. So now they're going after homes, rentals, cars, phones. We're seeing it with all over the place. If they can find a way to make it a revenue stream for them, they're going to do it. And we're seeing it now. Like we even see it with TV,
Yes.
streaming, right? Everything is a la carte, rental, leasing, whatever, and you are paying so much more than you've ever paid before for the things that you used to pay significantly less for. And it's all in an effort to drain your wealth and give your wealth to them. It's basically reverse Robin Hood is what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, and just think about it that these different, apps that you're paying for, whether it's Apple TV or, Prime, Netflix, they're all owned by all these same billionaires. And so and they've all invested. Larry Ellison now owns Paramount, so you gotta pay for Paramount. So you're funneling your money to just a tiny, tiny, minute percentage of people, literally a handful of billionaires that you could probably count on one or both of your hands, are all collecting worldwide our money in subscriptions every month. that is a crime, and it used to be that TV was free and, the advertisers paid, you know? Yeah, maybe cable wasn't such a good idea in the 1970s when it came out. So, yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, they're just they want to do everything that they can to ensure that you remain poor and that you remain beholden to them.
Yeah, that you're attached to the system, that
Right.
you are absolutely attached to the system, so that's very interesting, and this is what they were discussing behind closed doors in these meetings, and it really wasn't behind closed doors because you saw it, right?
Well, I mean, these guys have been very vocal about what they want to do. They've been telling everybody what they want to do. And now I mean, they just passed new legislation of that they can kill your car anywhere they want. So what is the subscription fee to ensure that they don't kill your car, that you're just not driving down the road one day and they say, well, we're going to kill your car, until you buy our extended warranty, you're not allowed to drive your car anymore. If the company has the ability to basically kill your car anytime they want, you don't own anything, right? Just like we had said, if they could kill you on the street and you have a legal gun permit and you have a legal right, and they could just kill you, then you don't. Then the law is that you don't have a right to have that gun. Like it's
Right.
the same thing. You don't. If the idea is that they're creating laws, okay, that take away your freedom to own, then you don't have freedom at all. Right? The whole point of freedom is that you have an ability to own things. Okay? That's part of the freedom, right? That's part of capitalism.
That's
Part of
part of it.
capitalism and
Yeah.
part of the ownership society is that you have the ability to own things. And basically we've reverted, right, through this system, right, of crony fascism into this idea that you aren't allowed to own anything, in fact, right? Everything and now with them saying that the Fifth Amendment doesn't apply, right? They can come into your house anytime. They're basically saying you don't own your house. We can
Fourth
we can invade it anytime. The
Yeah.
Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, Fourth Amendment.
Yeah, so it's capitalism for the ultra wealthy and peasantism for the rest of us.
It's actually crony socialism for them. It's we're socializing the losses and privatizing the
I think the
profits.
profits.
Yeah,
That too.
these guys are taking all the money, and the government is allowing them. And what's so insidious about all of it, right, is that every single subscription, every little thing that they charge you for, the government taxes you on too. Okay, so they're what they're doing is the government has expanded their regressive tax on the poor and middle class, while the wealthy get more and more tax breaks so that they can hoard more and more of their wealth.
So if you haven't already, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and leave us a comment. Let us know how you feel. And thanks so much for watching, and we will see you soon. Love you guys.
Peace out.
Peace out.